Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our men's advanced Bible study night, Friday night, the 21st of March, 2025. I'll be going. I brought this up the other day, and I'm gonna go back and deal with it tonight. It was how the feast days and all the festivals and everything that was going on in Israel during the time of David and Solomon. It all pointed back to Noah and what happened with him in the flood, rather than what they got us thinking that it's tied to JC. Everything pointing toward JC coming. We're gonna deal with that. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, examine, and get the meat out. These videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay. This is a non-Messianic channel for those that don't know. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer, okay, the Lord of hosts. Oh, let me see what I'm at. Yeah. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Men's Advanced Bible Study Night. We're going to do moment of silence, prayer, Psalms, some current events, need to know information. We open it up for some Q&A, and then we'll go into our topic, which is Jubilees chapter 6. Okay. So with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts, and all he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking our face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as our servants David and Solomon, Samuel, Hezekiah did. Okay. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments, testimony, and statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, and hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need thee so very much at this hour. Okay, peace be unto you. So we're going to read the Psalms.
Shalom. It's our brother Leonard. I'm gonna be reading Psalms 132. My subtitle says a habitation for the Lord, a song of degrees. Lord, remember David and all his afflictions. Excuse me, how he sware unto the Lord and vow unto the mighty God of Jacob. Surely I will not come into the tabernacle of my house, nor go up into my bed. I will not give sleep to mine eyes, or slumber to mine eyelids, until I find a place for the Lord, and habitation for the mighty God of Jacob. Lo, we heard of it at Ephratah. We found it in the fields of the wood. We will go into his tabernacles. We will worship at his footstool. Arise, O Lord, into thy rest, thou and the ark of thy strength. Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness, and let your saints shout for joy. For your servant David's sake, turn not away the face of thine anointed. The Lord hath sworn it in truth unto David. He will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set up upon thy throne. If thy children will keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them, their children shall also sit upon thy throne forevermore. For the Lord hath chosen Zion. He hath desired it for his habitation. This is my rest forever. Here I will dwell, for I have desired it. I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. Excuse me. I will also clothe her priests with salvation, and her saints shall shout aloud for joy. There I will make the horn of David to bud. I have ordained a lamp for mine anointed. His enemies will I clothe with shame, but upon himself shall his crown flourish. Shalom. That's the end of 132.
Okay,
Psalms.
you got any comments on that?
Well, yes, sir. The more and more I keep reading Psalms, um, I see more and more how clear it is. Like I know who David is, but I just see how clear it is in all these Psalms that David is the anointed one. But when it says brother Leonard in verse 10 and 11, for thy servant David's sake, turn not away the face of thine anointed. The Lord hath sworn in truth unto David, and he will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set up on thy throne. So, I mean, and then even the verse after that saying, if thy children will keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them, their children shall also sit up on your throne forevermore. I mean, forever mean forever.
Exactly right. And so that's also you find that same understanding in Second Samuel. I'm always going there when Nathan told David, when the Lord sent Nathan to David, it was the same. This is where it's coming from Second Samuel chapter 7. But another thing to look at too is when that where they went to Isaiah 9 and 6, unto us a son is given. That's right here. It's saying the same thing, but it's worded different right here. It's just saying that he always going up in verse 11. The Lord has sworn unto David, he will not turn from you of the fruit of his body, right? Son, but I set upon thy throne. If thy children will keep my covenant, sons, we know ain't no girls. If thy sons will keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them, then their son, their sons shall also sit upon the throne, for thy throne forevermore. So that's what that is. Like I said in Psalms 90, or Psalms Isaiah 96, it says, unto us a son is given. They plucked that out and put it, that it was JC, but it's unto us a son is given with the Lord of hosts. Promised David, a son will always be on the throne. And in that particular verse in 9 and 6, Isaiah 9 and 6, the son is Hezekiah. Uh,
Right.
Ahaz just died. Ahaz just died. So when you read it, you can see Ahaz just died. Now, under us a son is given, which is, you know, Hezekiah. And what he actually mean by that is that he said that he's always going to put a righteous son. There's going to be some wicked ones, but he's always going to bring a righteous one. That's the promise he got to David. He always going to raise a son up out of David's DNA, likened unto him. And he's going to reform Israel and bring them back to the Lord. So when you understand it, you can see that that's actually Hezekiah in chapter Isaiah 96. Okay. Anybody else have anything on that? Okay. We'll go to our current events.
But this isn't a storm of wind and rain. It's a storm of defiance. A storm that shakes the old order, rattles the power corridors of Paris, London, and Washington, and sends a message across the continent. Africa will no longer kneel. At the heart of this storm stands one man, a soldier, a leader, a revolutionary, Captain Ibrahim Traore. February 2024. A moment that will be etched in history. Traore expels French troops from Burkina Faso, a move so bold, so unprecedented, that it sends shockwaves through the Western world. To some, he is a hero reclaiming his country's destiny. To others, he is a dangerous threat to the global order. But one thing is certain, he does not back down.
The next day, French President Emmanuel Macron said he was awaiting clarifications from transitional President Ibrahim Traore. But on Monday, government spokesman Rimtalba Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo said, we don't see how to be more clear than this.
The West thought this was temporary. a burst of rebellion that would fade under pressure. But Traoré had other plans. He wasn't just rejecting France, he was rewriting the playbook. He turned east, and when he did, the world held its breath. Now, Russian special forces land on Burkinabe soil. Venezuelan intelligence moves in. Cuban military advisors stand ready. The balance of power is shifting, and France can do nothing but watch. This is more than just a military shift. This is a warning shot to the West. The era of control is ending. And Captain Traoré, he's just getting started. But how did we get here? And more importantly, what happens next? Let's find out. The world thought it had seen this story before. An African leader challenging the West, standing tall for a moment, only to be dragged down by pressure, sanctions, or worse. But this time, something is different. The script is changing. The West is no longer the only player on the board. The balance of power is shifting, and Burkina Faso is at the center of it. When Captain Ibrahim Traoré expelled French troops from Burkina Faso, it wasn't just about removing foreign boots from the ground. It was about severing a chain that had kept the country locked into an arrangement where France dictated security, dictated resources, dictated the future. For decades, Burkina Faso was expected to follow orders, but suddenly that control was gone, and the question became, what happens next? For the West,
A man told me that jeans are too hot for summer.
Simple. Isolation. A leader like Traoré, young and daring, should have found himself alone, facing diplomatic pressure, military threats, and economic retaliation. That's the way it always worked. Remove the West, and you remove the safety net. Cut off French influence, and the so-called protector turns into a punisher, ensuring no alternatives exist. But Traoré was not walking into the abyss. He was stepping into something entirely new. Within weeks of rejecting France, new forces began arriving. Forces with no history of colonizing Africa, no legacy of plundering its wealth, and no intention of keeping it subservient. Russia, Venezuela, Cuba. Their presence signaled a reality that France had refused to acknowledge. The world had changed, and so had Africa's choices. Of foreign interests, but as a tool of national defense. The kind that turns alliances into leverage, not chains. The West's reaction was predictable. Denouncement, condemnation, panic. France saw its influence slipping away. The US whispered of concerns over stability. But beneath the surface, something far more unsettling was happening. A precedent was being set. An African nation had expelled Western forces and not collapsed. It had cut ties with Europe's military and not fallen into chaos. Instead, it was forging new paths, testing new relationships, and proving that a future without Western oversight was not only possible, it was unfolding in real time. The power shift wasn't just military, it was psychological. It was the dismantling of an old belief that Africa could not stand on its own without Western supervision. China, always watching, saw an opportunity, and with a single move, opened the door to alternative banking systems, trade agreements, and infrastructure funding that bypassed Western oversight. The message was clear. Burkina Faso didn't need the West's permission to thrive. But breaking free from an economic empire is not just about replacing one partner with another. It's about changing the rules of the game, and that's exactly what Traoré set out to do. First, he attacked the heart of Western control, the CFA franc. This colonial-era currency had kept Burkina Faso and much of West Africa under economic subjugation for years. The moment France lost military influence, it clung to the financial chains. But Traoré was already looking beyond it. Plans to shift towards a new monetary system, independent of Paris, were quietly moving forward, placing only the most trusted officers in critical roles. He has removed figures suspected of outside influence. He has built a network of direct command that does not rely on Western-trained officers who could be flipped at a moment's notice. Second, he has taken control of Burkina Faso's security operations. Western intelligence agencies thrive on secrecy, on operating within foreign governments without detection. But Traoré has made it clear. There will be no shadow actors running the country from behind closed doors. Intelligence operations have been centralized. Surveillance on potential traitors has increased. The usual coup suspects, politicians with too many Western connections, and military officers with foreign training are being watched closely. And
okay, any comments on that?
Shalom, brother Leonard. France didn't acknowledge the international decade for the people of African descent.
Oh, they didn't acknowledge it?
Right. They chose not to. So when I look at all the stuff I keep hearing about France, they're acting as strong as America. Like when I hear you keep saying like we're at that point where they done told Pharaoh to let us go, and now they saying make brick without straw.
Right,
You know, France is doing the same thing over there because their hand is more stronger on Africa. So
exactly,
when I seen that, I thought that was interesting. And then when I'm seeing all these other things, I'm seeing how their economy is crashing like America's.
exactly, right. I was playing that last night, how all these European countries that was involved in the transatlantic slave trade, they crashing right in front of our face. Okay,
Yes, sir. Because all nations took crafty counsel against thy people. So all those nations got to pay for it. They truly have to pay for it.
right. Then the crazy part about it is prophesied.
Facts. It is. And while that being said, I would like to say that I'm grateful for being on this channel, Mr. Leonard
Okay,
and AJ and Sarge. I'm grateful for being here because I found out who my redeemer was, you know, and I
okay,
found out that JC wasn't the one that I was supposed to be reaching out to long time ago. But all praise the Most High. And as we on that subject, truly, all nations took crafty counsel against our people. They all hate us because of what Edom. Edom is the one that did it. I mean, he had problems with his brother from the beginning.
exactly,
We already know that he was the one that was supposed to get it. Esau told his father, "Give me, even me, a blessing," even though he gave his blessing away. He
right,
said that, "What is this blessing good enough for me when I'm hungry if I'm
exactly,
dead?" Yes,
right.
sir.
He didn't care about his. He didn't care about his birthright. Exactly.
Facts.
There's some.
But I would like to say that all praise the Most High. That Mr. Leonard, you said that we not here for no reason. We
Right.
here for a reason. We all congregating as a reason. And I would like to say that to the sisters too, the sisters and the brothers in this channel. I put my hat down because I came here for a specific reason and I found it. You can't go no other places and find what you're looking for.
Exactly.
The Bible says, "Seek and ye shall find."
Exactly. Okay. Anybody else got anything on that?
Oh, shalom, brother Leonard. I wanted to add too, sir, that the same over here too, how Trump was doing with the travel ban. I
Right.
seen that Macron did the same thing with the AES nations, with the Sahel nations, and it made me think of something you said. I think you said this yesterday on the women's class, but we have to leave those lands, these other places that we're at, so he can judge those nations. So
Exactly.
when I'm looking at them shutting off travel bans and it's basically maneuvering us to the continent,
Right.
then I'm looking at the judgment is happening, because I was looking at Germany too, how Germany's crashing, and
Right.
that's affecting factories here. It's a lot of like BMW factories and Volkswagen factories here in America, and some of those are closing down too because of Germany's falling. So, you know, I'm just I said that to say I see what you're saying. We have to leave those other nations so he can judge them, because I know I know in Africa a lot of people go to school in Paris and things like that. So now, you know, when they win scholarships and things like that, now they can't go because it's a travel ban. So, but yes, sir,
Exactly.
Shimon.
Not only that, but what did Pharaoh do? Pharaoh did the same thing. Moses told them to sit in your house, put the blood over the doorposts. It's over the doorposts wherever you at.
Right.
Yes, sir. Everything's
Mhm.
gonna be taken care of
Right.
because it's
Exactly.
that time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we can see it. Like I said, you can see it happening you got right now. It says 10 European countries that at any moment they can collapse. And we see what's going on with Trump, and we see what's going on in Europe. So it's happening, but you know, people not zeroed in on this. They caught up with the New Testament and Gentile ideology and all that, and they just can't see it. You can't see it happening. Yeah.
And he
But we're
said
gonna go
nothing new under the sun. The same thing he did to Pharaoh. Pharaoh
right.
had to let him go. He's beating
Exactly.
him down. It's a beat
Right.
down. Like you said, a slow demolition, but it's a beat down.
Right. And
Yes,
then
sir.
even even in the garden with Adam, he said he drove him out of the garden. They go over a lot of people's head, but Adam wasn't trying to lead the garden, but he had to drive him. And that's what's up with a lot of, since we've been scattered over these lands over 2,500 years, you got a bunch of these Negroes. They don't want to go nowhere. They assuming that, like, you got a bunch of them talking about America is Israel, but America ain't no Israel. Yeah. So you're gonna have to drive them out of here. Okay.
Israel is back in Gaza. It has resumed its ground operations, and this time Israeli troops are not just fighting, they're also seizing land in Gaza. The plan apparently is to evacuate the population in the south, seize more areas, and expand security zones. Israel's defense minister has also issued a warning. It's a message to Hamas. If they don't let the hostages go, Israel will continue to take more and more territory. They will permanently control parts of Gaza. So the war has resumed with full force.
Next to Gaza, I can tell you that Israel is intensifying the fight against Hamas. The IDF has renewed targeted ground operations, securing key areas up to the center of the Netzarim axis. Our forces now control central and southern Gaza, expanding the security zone and creating a partial buffer between north and south.
I was in Gaza up to last March.
Hey, Mr. Leonard,
Yeah.
these fake imposters are saying, let my people go. Ain't that crazy?
Oh yeah.
They trying to say, let my people go.
Ain't that something?
That's what they saying.
Oh
Let
yeah.
my people go. Don't let my people go, or we gonna keep on fighting. No, sir.
Right.
That's not the people.
Exactly. Ain't that something?
But this isn't the only battle that Israel is fighting. It is also at war with itself. Yesterday, hundreds descended on the streets of Jerusalem. They had only one demand. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu must go. Protests against the government began on Tuesday. That's when the ceasefire fell through. But yesterday, there was a new catalyst, the firing of Shin Bet chief Ronen Bar.
Shin Bet is Israel's internal security agency, like the FBI in the United States or the MI5 in the UK or the Intelligence Bureau in India. Shin Bet is responsible for counterterrorism, intelligence gathering, and internal security, all within Israel. In 2021, Ronen Bar was appointed for a 5-year term, but now Prime Minister Netanyahu has fired him. The official reason is a breakdown of trust. The actual one may be far more complicated. You see, this is the first time an Israeli government has fired the head of Shin Bet. The decision has left the country stunned, and the reason seems to be an investigation. It began last month. Shin Bet was tasked with investigating Netanyahu's office, specifically officials in his team, over financial ties with Qatar. The charge was that these officials had financial ties with Qatar. Netanyahu's Likud party has denied all allegations, but the intelligence agency was still digging, and overseeing that investigation was Ronen Bar himself. His involvement rattled the prime minister's inner circle, and now he's out.
The demonstration is about the dismissal of the head of the Shin Bet, a dismissal that is ultimate.
It is the intelligence agencies, and next, it will be the Attorney General. Protesters fear that this is...
So we see, like they said, follow the old path. We can see right there, they got internal strife going on in America, internal strife going on in Israel and in Europe. They got to turning them in against each other. That's one of the Lord of Hosts characteristics. Okay. So with that being said, got some need to know information right here.
The strong man is doing that, Mr. Leonard.
Right.
We know the strong man is doing it in all these nations, correct?
Exactly.
There's a strong man of every nation.
Okay. Yeah, I played that video the other day about the 2 black boys, the twins that came up missing. Well, I got some backup information right here.
Out of Georgia, a man has been arrested in connection to the deaths of black twin brothers. This story has a lot of twists and turns. It's going to make your blood boil. Put up the picture full mask. In Georgia, Quadir and Nazir Lewis, 19 years of age, were found dead just hours after they were expected to fly to Boston to visit friends on Saturday, March 8th. Their plane tickets were reportedly still in their respective wallets, found at the scene of the crime. Hikers discovered their bodies at the top of Bell Mountain. This is near North Georgia. It is the Georgia-North Carolina border, dozens of miles from where families say the brothers were living. Although police suspect the brothers died in a murder-suicide by gunshot wound, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has confirmed the arrest of former Towns County volunteer firefighter Scott Curlin, 42 years of age, in connection to the case. It gets even more interesting. According to the reports, the firefighter was fired on March 14th after he allegedly violated department protocol. Towns County Commissioner Cliff Bradshaw told 11 Alive. Curlin has not been charged directly in the deaths of the brothers, but he was hit with misdemeanor obstruction for allegedly snapping photos of the twins' dead bodies and then leaking those photos to the public, according to the GBI. The GBI's medical examiner has not shared the complete autopsy reports to the public yet, according to a spokesperson. Additional forensic tests are still pending. The family, however, continues to dispute the murder-suicide ruling, saying the twins would never hurt each other. Their aunt, Yasmin Bronner, said, quote, "They wouldn't do anything like this. To say they did this to each other? No. Something happened in those mountains and we want answers," end quote. In the meantime, their family has set up a GoFundMe in support of organizing a memorial for both of them. Obviously, this is not something you plan for as a parent. Cordier and Nazir, you can go to that GoFundMe and assist. There are a lot of dynamics to this story. And we've been following the story in the state of Georgia. So one thing that stuck out to many is that they were in an area that normally they would not have been. And no one has been able to give an explanation as to why they were in those mountains and why did they miss their flight. Absolutely no information. And then the ruling of this murder-suicide thing happened so quickly. Once again, there's no exhaustive investigation before the proclamation of murder-suicide. And thirdly, how many times have we reported on indisputable a mother's intuition or family's intuition where they knew something was off? And because of their willingness to continue to push the reality of how they knew the person, that actual justice was served and the person or people accountable were held to account. We've seen this many times on this show. There's no motive. There's no
Hey,
motive.
Mr. Leonard.
There's no bad blood. These are twins.
Okay.
I would like to say that truly the Most High, like he said, I make sick, I heal. I kill, I make alive. All these things I do, besides me, there's no savior. Do we agree with that? So
Yeah, he said.
I want to know. Okay, can anybody kill me and it's not my time? Yes or no?
Now,
You
no,
can't kill me unless it's my time. I have a birth date and a death date.
exactly.
So, I mean, what are we talking about really? Because, I mean, they can do what they want to do. Edom can do whatever Edom wants to do, correct?
Correct.
According to the plans. And it may not be Judah or anything else, but it's by plan. He ain't kill you. I wish to say that I'm not going to die tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, all praise the Most High. Who's to say when your time is up because you got a birth date and you got a death date?
Right.
So how could I say this is anything else other than just you got to go? Because remember he said, what did he say? The scriptures of some people have to die. I mean, fuck, Moses didn't make it to the other side.
Right.
Aaron made it and still had to get it. Right?
Exactly.
There we go.
Right. Yeah. Me looking at this, and you understand how this thing is playing out right now. The blacks is kind of, right, especially after the election, they kind of, yeah, they in a zone. They're not dealing with the rest of the nations and nothing. They're just sitting back, and it seems like to me, what's going on with Project 2025 and all that, they can't see how the blacks are not out on the streets like they normally would be. They're not. So they trying to find some kind of way to provoke them. And I think this is one of those things. At first, they tried to bring that up about bringing out, releasing the guy that killed George Floyd. And then that fizzled out, died down. And then they came with this.
Not only just that, it also saying, "Thou shalt not mingle thy seed." You ain't supposed to be dealing with anything else.
Right.
This is what I'm saying. He's going back to his laws, correct? The Most High
Exactly.
going back to his laws. So if you doing this, you gonna get murked. You're gonna be done. He gonna kill you.
Someone
because
like,
yes, sir.
want to get some?
I'm just saying. If I'm
And
lying, I'm flying.
I see that.
I'm just saying.
Like,
Do not mingle that. See, don't do anything that's different from me. If you run around eating pork, shrimp, and crab and lobster, well, your teeth gonna fall out, and then you gonna get this work.
okay, I
This
see.
is what we in right now. So if you on one accord, stay on one accord. Keep your Shabbat and do what you got to do. That's what I
I
look
see.
at it, Mr. Leonard.
Okay. Anybody else got anything on that? Any comments?
Yeah, shalom. Brother Leonard, did I miss why this man did this to these kids?
No, they didn't ex- talk about it. They just said that right now they got him in custody for a suspect. So I'm thinking within the next
Yes, sir.
couple of days he's gonna come out. But
Okay, because I'm sorry, sir. They caught him in Connecticut.
okay,
Yeah, but at the same time, it won't even happen if you're dealing with the Most High. If you keeping the Most High right and we doing what we supposed to do, I don't have no mercy, no sympathy. Correct? Why would
exactly,
I have sympathy for them?
exactly,
If they was doing the right thing, they'd be all right to this day. Because we saying we in the last days. Everybody's saying we in the last days. We watching all of these things going on, and you ain't right. Well, hey, you deserve what you get. I'm just saying. All
okay.
praise the Most High.
You see that?
These twins, according to everybody in the family, these individuals wouldn't hurt other people, let alone each other, in this manner. Nothing is adding up. Nothing makes sense. And then to add on top of the chaos and the confusion, you have a local authority, obviously tied into not only the fire department, but also obviously the police department, the medical examiner's department. These individuals don't work in silos, they work together. He then takes a picture and releases it to the public. But you can't do that in a silo. You can't do that by yourself. That means you got some public folk that you can talk to, that you can release this picture to. So who are you talking to in the public to release the picture? And why are you doing it in the first place? Who told you to do this? Have you ever done this before? If you've never done it before, that means that you're probably under a directive for the first time to do something like this, because I'm sure it's not the first time that a dead body has been found in that area. But why this time did you decide to do these actions? There are more questions than answers. I'm with the family on this one. There needs to be an exhaustive investigation into every element of this case, and hopefully there will be a just outcome, but we're going to stay on top of it until there is. Jackson,
Okay, ain't that something? So, excuse me. So with that being said, I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody got any questions about anything, or comments, or dialogue about something they came across, or they heard on this line, they want to chop it up?
Yes, sir.
I just
Shalom, brother. I apologize. Yeah, brother Leonard. When you played that video about Israel back over there in Gaza,
Right.
then Trump done threw the thought out. I guess they gonna go on in there now and chop their own little portion out. But they were saying they had an agreement of releasing certain hostages at what time, but that man trying to destroy all them people and take that land.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. That everybody is focusing in on this Passover that's coming up, the Gentile Passover, right? They thinking that this is when they're gonna try to usher in that temple and all that, and they're gonna try to do those red heifers. This Passover right here is coming up. It's like I think next week.
yeah, and then they want to say that we have to have the federal government. It's going against. You got to have the white people false it, black people false it, and things like that. They coming up with all these other things because we got to kick rocks. It
Right.
ain't just about Mexicans leaving this joint. They coming for us too. We
Exactly.
watching it. It's time to go.
Exactly.
We got to go.
Exactly.
Real talk. I'm not telling y'all no lie. You hear what he's saying? He's coming with segregation in the federal. So we ain't got to worry about none of that other stuff. We got to go. Pharaoh finally let us go. That's where we at right now. Whether
Right.
you believe it or not, they
Exactly.
got to let us go.
Right. Make brick without straw. Is that something?
Facts, Mr. Lynn. It's the truth. We
Right.
see it. Donald Trump's the one going to have to do it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, this next video right here, this is it's tied to this conversation right here. It's two white economists, professors is warning Black Americans that America is getting ready to fall, and we got to do something. Let's check it out. Let's get over that.
Understanding of what is happening in the world today. To speak of a decline, of an end, if you like, of the U.S. empire in the world, the one that basically came into its modern form after World War II. Something like the decline of the Roman or Greek or British Empire. Is that a reasonable understanding from your perspective?
Well, over a long stretch, the U.S. domination of the world has, of course, declined. It hit its peak, as you said, at the end of World War II. At that point, the United States had a position of global power that had no remote analog in human history. The U.S. controlled the Western Hemisphere, controlled both oceans, controlled the opposite sides of both oceans. Other industrial powers had been devastated by the war. The United States gained enormously economically through the war. Manufacturing production practically quadrupled. It had maybe 40, 50% of world's wealth. Nothing like that in history. Couldn't last forever. In fact, within a couple of years, it declined. 1949, China became independent. What's called in the United States the loss of China. The terminology expresses the conception of how the world is supposed to be run. After that, industrial powers reconstituted themselves. The third world began to decolonize. You got the non-aligned movement. By about, say, 1970, the world was what's called tripolar. Major center in North America based on the United States, in Europe based on Germany mainly, and in Asia at that point based mainly on Japan. Since then, other changes have taken place. Collapse of the Soviet Union gave a short period of euphoria in the United States. We can take over the world again. Of course, that couldn't last. We're now in a period where the analogy to the Roman Empire is not completely wrong.
That's why your nerves malfunction and your legs start to burn.
Hey, Mr. Leonard.
Okay.
This is how they're going to look at it. We've been the powerhouse forever.
Wow.
Now we got to restructure our gold and our silver and everything else we got to do because it's over. It's over. That's what he was just saying. It's over.
Right.
That's an old man.
Right.
And now everybody want to sit here and handle money and jobs and everything. Jobs are gone. Everything's gone. All this stuff is gone. Now, see, where you stand. When power go out, we not just gonna say power. Forget the power. The power can go out. No more crypto or none of that. But
Right.
never mind. I don't even want to go there. Gold and what the Most High says in Jeremiah and in these scriptures. Gold is mine.
Right.
Silver is mine.
Exactly.
Here we go. 7-1. Here we go. They might be they might be bad, but that's the way it's gonna be. Because what do you say, Mr. Leonard? What he said is gonna be what?
Gonna be performed.
Come on.
Okay.
All praise the Most High.
Okay.
That means incorporated.
Noam Chomsky's critique of the contemporary state of the United States presents a compelling and sobering analysis of a nation grappling with deep-seated internal fractures. His discussion delves into the nation's social and economic divisions, its declining political functionality, and its increasing reliance on military power as its global influence wanes. In his conversation, Chomsky highlights how the internal dysfunction of the United States is exacerbating its decline on the world stage, arguing that instead of addressing domestic issues through constructive policies, the government, particularly the Republican Party, is obstructing progress in favor of political gain. Additionally, Chomsky underscores the growing authoritarian tendencies within the US, particularly in reference to the Trump administration's attempt to dismantle the civil service system and replace it with ideological loyalists. This analysis explores Chomsky's argument in depth, contextualizing his insights within broader historical, economic, and geopolitical frameworks, internal divisions, and political dysfunction. Chomsky's discussion begins with an examination of the deepening internal fractures within the United States, which are manifesting in social, economic, and political turmoil. He observes that Congress has become increasingly dysfunctional, not as a result of systemic inefficiencies, but due to the deliberate obstructionism of the Republican Party. He asserts that the GOP's explicit strategy is to block all legislative progress to ensure that the Democratic Party appears ineffective, thereby increasing their chances of reclaiming power. This political brinkmanship creates a self-reinforcing cycle of dysfunction, where legislative stalemates are blamed on the ruling party, while the obstructing party benefits from public dissatisfaction. Historically, such internal dysfunction has been observed in declining empires. The late stages of the Roman
To hear somebody explain what has been happening to us and what we face as we go forward. And as always, I look forward to speaking with you again. Thanks.
One of the most telling examples of how US policymakers navigate their internal dysfunction is the passage of the China Competition Act. Chomsky explains that the only way Republicans would support legislation addressing infrastructure was to frame it as a measure to compete with China. This reveals a fundamental flaw of how the US government approaches economic and technological development. It is motivated by geopolitical rivalry rather than a genuine commitment to domestic improvement. This approach echoes Cold War era policymaking, where investments in science, technology.
Okay. Play a little bit of this and then we'll go into the lesson. Let me see.
Hey, Mr. Leonard.
Okay.
They don't understand that you have to have these minerals. These
Right.
minerals. Yes, the minerals are given to you, but you got to have it.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, when the shit hit the fan, hey, we can go to Genesis. They left out with great substance, but at the same time, they have to put themselves in that category to leave with great substance.
Exactly.
They don't know that they're gonna leave with it.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
you don't have it.
Exactly.
Hey, all praise the Most High.
They can't see
If
it.
you dealing, yes. It's JC Slim and it's Muslims, it's all of this stuff going on in the world. But there's a safe space for these people.
Exactly.
Hey, all praise.
Well, there's something. Play a little bit of this and then we go over to the answer.
Good day, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ. This was one of the craziest, something massive in this video today. But before I do that, I want to give you an update. This morning, Israel broke the ceasefire and struck the Gaza region once again. Meanwhile, on the other side, the USA has already been in conflict with the Yemen rebels for the last 3 days. Meanwhile, Iran is displaying its rebellious stance against America, and they are issuing warnings to Trump. Yet many people still do not understand why these two nations are suddenly engaging in war directly. Through this video today, I am going to reveal what is about to happen next according to the prophecies of the Bible, specifically the Red Sea prophecy, and why the entire world should prepare to see the unseen. Now, the events unfolding before our very eyes are not just political maneuverings or conflicts between nations. They are divinely orchestrated signs, leading us into the final moments of human history as we know it.
So like I was saying, these are the prophecies that Esau set in place. He's trying to bring them to pass. That's what it is. It's not the hand of the Lord, Yahweh. It's these Edomites. Like I said, they got it. It's all over the place. You paying attention that something's going to happen. It's Passover. That's pertaining to Israel, pertaining to the temple and all that. So remember that. Okay. Anybody got any comments? Okay. I was in I was talking the other day about how everything that happened during the time of Noah and the Most High got a covenant with Noah. They downplayed Noah's role in our history as Israelites and as Adam descendants. But everything that we see happening with David and Solomon, and when Israel became a nation, it's all reflecting back to what went down with Noah during the time of the flood. So I want to read that and then we'll close out. Okay. It's in Genesis, it's in Jubilees chapter 6. So I'm gonna start reading. I had brought this up the other day, but I want to go back and put some more emphasis on it. Okay. I'm in Jubilees chapter 6. Okay. And it says, and on the new moon of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark. Noah went forth from the ark and built an altar on that mountain, and he made the atonement for the earth. And he took a kid and made atonement by his blood for all the guilt of the earth, for everything that had been on it had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark. So right here, I was showing you how they took everything and switched it around. We was talking about how they downplayed David. David was the Messiah, but they came with JC, made him the Messiah, and denigrated David. So the blood right here, it says, on the new moon of the 3rd month, he went forth from the ark, built an altar on that mountain, right? And so this is right after the flood. And he made an atonement for the earth. JC ain't nowhere around. He took a kid, this is the blood right here, and made atonement by its blood. See that? For all the guilt on the earth. Now all of a sudden, the New Testament, this blood don't mean nothing no more. But right here, he killed a kid. He took a kid and made atonement by his blood for all the guilt on the earth. For everything that had been on it had been destroyed, save those that were in the ark with Noah. And he placed the fat thereof on the altar, back to the fat, and he took an ox and a goat and a sheep and a kid and salt, a turtle dove, And the young of a dove placed a burnt sacrifice on the altar, poured thereupon and offered mingled with oil and sprinkled wine and strewed frankincense over everything, and caused a goodly savor to rise acceptable before the Lord. So all these clean animals I told you about, when in Genesis chapter 3, when the Most High says he was observing Adam and found out that he needed to help me. That's in verse 18, 3 and 18. Then the next verse, he says he formed out of the ground these same animals right here. Okay? This is why their blood means so much, because from the ground, right? Notice in verse 2, it says, made atonement for the earth, because that's where they came from. So anyway, verse 4, and the Lord smelt the goodly savor and made a covenant with him that there should be any more a flood to destroy the earth, and that all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, shall never cease. Cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night should not change their order, nor cease forever. And you, so it's the Lord of hosts talking to Noah, and you increase ye and multiply upon the earth and become many upon it, and be a blessing upon it. The fear of you, fear of Noah, and the dread of you, I shall inspire everything that is on the earth and in the sea. And behold, I have given unto you, Noah, all the beasts and all the winged things and everything that moveth on the earth, and the fish in the waters, and all the things for food, and the green herbs. I have given you all things to eat. But flesh with the life thereof, okay? Somebody got their mic on, okay? Whosoever shed a man's blood by a man, shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man. And you increase ye, talking to Noah, you increase ye and multiply on the earth. And Noah and his sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. And he made a covenant before the Lord God forever throughout all generations of the earth in this month. On this account, he spake to thee that thou shouldest make a covenant with the children of Israel in this month upon the mountains with an oath, and that they should have sprinkled blood upon them because of all the words of the covenant which the Lord made with them forever. And this testimony is testimony, right? Or testimony is shining light on something else, right? So it says, and this testimony is written concerning you, Noah, that you should observe it continuously, so that you, Noah, should not eat on any day any blood of beast or birds or cattle during all the days of the earth. And the man who eateth the blood of the beast or of cattle or of birds during all the days of the earth, he and his seed shall be rooted out of the land. And do thou command the children of Israel to eat no blood, so that their names and their seed may be before the Lord our God continuously. And for this law there is no limit of days, for it is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generations, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf with blood before the altar every day, and at the time of morning and evening they shall seek forgiveness on your behalf perpetually before the Lord, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. So let's look at this right quick. So 14, it says, this is Jubilee 6 and 14. And for this law, this is no limit of days. So it's pertaining to Noah, not even blood. No blood, it goes back to Noah, right? For it is forever. Then here you go. They should observe it throughout their generations, right? So that they may continuously supplicating on your behalf with blood before the altar. Now check it out right here. Every day, and at the time of the morning and the evening, they shall seek forgiveness on your behalf, a perpetual before the Lord, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. So what is he actually saying? Go to Daniel. When Gabriel came to Daniel, Daniel had prayed, and because he saw that the 70 years that was upon Israel was time to go, so he prayed. So Gabriel, after he prayed, Michael sent Gabriel to Daniel at the evening oblation. I told you what oblation was. Animal sacrifice that animal, somebody got their mic on. It says animal sacrifice. It's an animal sacrifice in the morning, noon, and the evening. But look what he says right here. Verse 14. For it is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generations, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf, on Noah's behalf, with blood before the altar. Every day at the time of morning and the evening, they shall seek forgiveness on your behalf. So everything they're doing is on Noah's behalf. See that? Perpetual before the Lord, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. And he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not again be a flood on the earth. And he set a bow in the clouds for a sign of an eternal covenant, that there should not again be a flood on the earth to destroy all the days of the earth. For this reason, it is ordained. For this reason, it is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets that they should celebrate. Here you go. Because of Noah, that they should celebrate the Feast of Weeks in this month, once a year, to renew the covenant every year. Covenant he got with Noah. And the whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of creation to the days of Noah. 26 jubilees, 5 weeks a year, and Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees. Check it out. For 7 jubilees and 1 week of years. Because this is what Melchizedek coming in at. Noah is Melchizedek right here, right? And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 jubilees and 1 week of years, till the day of Noah's death. See that? And from the day that Noah's death, his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham. And they ate blood. See that? But Abraham observed it, Isaac and Jacob and his children observed it up to the days, and in thy days the children of Israel forgot it until ye celebrated it anew on this mountain. And do thou command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations for a commandment unto them. 1 day in a year, in this month, they shall celebrate this Passover. It is a feast of weeks and a feast of first fruit. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraved concerning the celebrate it. So they tell us, they got all these videos and charts on how the feast of weeks tied to JC. Okay, 22. For I have written in the book of the first law, in that which I have written for thee, that thou shouldst celebrate it season, 1 day in a year. And I explained to thee his sacrifices, that the children of Israel should remember and should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, 1 day in a year, every year. And on the new moon of the first month, check it out, he's going to tell you reason these feasts, what they're about and why they're doing it. On the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month, are the days of remembrance. See that? The days of remembrance. Remember what happened with Noah. and the days of the seasons in their 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forevermore. And Noah ordained them for himself. See that? Noah ordained them for himself as feast for the generation forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. See that? What they doing in Israel during the time of Noah, during the time of David and all them, pointing toward Noah. And on the new moon of the first month, he was bidden to make it for himself an ark. So, like he said, the first month tied to the ark. And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth, right? And on the new moon of the 4th month, the months of the the mouths of the deep depths of the abyss beneath were open. And on the new moon of the 7th month, all these feast days, on the new moon of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abyss of the earth were open, and the waters began to descend into them. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account, he ordained them for himself as feast for a memorial forever. And thus are they ordained, and they placed them on the heavenly tables. Each had 13 weeks from one to another, past their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. And all the days of the commandments will be 250 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus it is engraved and ordained on the heavenly table, and there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or for a year to year. And command thou the children of Israel that ye observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days. These will constitute a complete year, and they will not disturb, check it out, and they will not disturb his time from his days and from his feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandments, check it out, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged. This is where we at. Dislodged from this order, and they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances, and all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of years, and will not forget and will forget the new moons and the seasons and the Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of their years. And I know, this is the Lord of hosts talking to Noah, for I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book lieth open before me, and on the heavenly tables the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles. It's the total opposite of what they got us believing in the New Testament, that he brought the Gentiles in. It's the opposite. Say they will forget my covenant and walk in the feast of the Gentiles after their error, after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observances of the moon. Now it is disturbing the seasons and cometh in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, the day of testimony, and an unclean day, feast day, and they will confound all the days, and the holy will be with the unclean, and the unclean with the holy, for they will go wrong as to the months, Sabbaths, and feast of Jubilees. This is where we at. For this reason, I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death, after Noah's death, thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days, right? That ain't where it's at, only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moons and the seasons and the Sabbaths and the festivals, and they will eat, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. That's where we at in the supermarket, all over the world. But anyway, I want to shine a light on 37. For it says, for this reason, it's the Lord of hosts talking. Like I said, who you gonna believe? Peter and Paul, the church fathers, Polycarp and them, or you gonna the Lord of hosts? He says, for this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order. So what are you talking about? Fast, like they're doing right now. They're gonna come by so fast because they've been disturbed. He says right here, for this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, a day of testimony, and an unclean day. You know that's what they've done, a feast day. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy, for they will go wrong as a month, Sabbath, feast day. So that's why everything is sped up. They can dislodge the order, change the Shabbat, trick it off. Now everything is sped up. Okay, ain't that something? Anybody got a question or comment?
Shalom, brother Leonard. And you reading that, I was just thinking about just that. Like I was looking at the calendar the other day, and you know it goes from Sunday to Saturday. And
Right.
I'm like, damn, even on the calendar, just looking at it, I mean, Saturday is the 7th day on the calendar we look at every day. But we've been
Exactly.
taught to read it different. But I was just thinking about how much is thrown off from, you know, the sun god worship day on Sunday,
Right,
from the
exactly.
Sabbath day being Saturday. You know, that's like a big thing. And Saturday, when I think about when I was younger, Brother Leonard, I was everywhere on Saturday, you know,
Exactly.
and I, oh man, everywhere, you know, and I still feel bad about it.
Oh yeah, and Friday night too. You
Right, yes,
prepare
sir. Definitely Friday night.
right. You prepare yourself. You preparing yourself to, like he said, you troubling your self to go do wicked. You preparing to go do wicked on and the Sabbath coming in. Ain't that so?
Right, yes, sir. And Brother Leonard, that's why it hit me so much, and I was hoping and praying that other people that listen, that that the Lord would cause for it to hit them too, in the sense of knowing that it does start at evening. And
Right.
you've been driving that point home for the last few classes for a reason. And I feel like it's real important to understand that, because I didn't at first either.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and then even what I just read, he said in the morning and in the evening. You know, it's ain't nothing else. These people that came in with all these crazy, like I said, it's I mean, he starts out, he made two signs, the sun and the moon. Then when he started dividing it up after each day, he said the morning and the evening. So one of them got to tie to the sun, and the other one got to tie to the moon. And the sun is tied to the morning when it's coming up, and the moon is tied to the night. So that's crazy. I mean, when you tie that together, you see it. It's all through scripture.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. And how he said one rules the day and one rules the night. I
exactly.
mean, it takes both to make a full day.
Right. And then another thing that it just jumped off the page too. You have people saying between the evenings, right? When they say in between the evenings. Well, like I said, morning is not evening. So if you say in between the evenings, that's a whole Shabbat, because at the evening on Friday night and the next evening is Saturday evening. So, the morning ain't no evening. So between the evenings is a whole day. Ain't that something?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the understanding.
Right. That's why he said from evening to evening. You can't make evening, like you just said. You can't make a unholy day a holy day. You can't make a holy day an unholy day. It's the same thing with that. You can't make morning evening. You can't make evening morning. Evening is evening. Morning is morning. Morning is when the sun coming up. Evening is when the sun going down. So it says from evening to evening. That's a 24-hour period. Yeah. Ain't there something? Yeah. Anybody else got anything else you want to bring up before we go?
Oh, shalom, brother Leonard, too. With the 364 days in a year, right, sir? If my math is right, that breaks down to 13 months of 28 days, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So not that Black History Month is good or anything like that, but I think it's interesting that we got, or they assigned us Black History Month, and that is the month with 28 days.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And that's that's how they operate. They put things right there in our face as an insult, and we never even pick it up and figure out that what they're doing is they are insulting us, playing with our intelligence.
Right, man. Wow.
Ain't that something?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything before we go? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with that being said, I want to say shalom to everybody, and we got our Shabbat class in the morning from 10 to 12. So you should come in there. I'll see you in the morning. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Okay. I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it, because it's a must that you understand who the God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is. And